Monday evening. Gary Neville and Jamie Redknapp got into a bit of a discussion, a heated debate on Sky's Monday Night Football about Tottenham's apparent lack of ambition. Here's what Gary Neville had to say about Spurs' recent history.
Tottenham, for 30 years of our lives, were spineless and soft, flaky, rubbish. You could be 2-0 up against them and think you'd win 5-2. That's just the way they were. You just knew that basically one little bit of a sort of a bump during the game and they'd just fall over it. They were pathetic.
I have to say, I don't...
That's harsh.
That's heavy, is it not? A man who was in charge for 4 years of that 30 years that Gary was talking about there, John Gisnan, I can tell you, he is not happy. Harry Redknapp. Morning, Harry.
Morning, Harry.
Good morning, David. Good morning.
Well, Harry, that is whoa, that is... Whoa.
Yeah, it was, I mean, he was on with Jamie Carragher. It was Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville, you know, who were summing up after the game. But I think, Gary's, his comments I thought were an absolute disgrace. I mean, I can only speak about the 3.5 years I managed the club, Alan, and we weren't gutless, we weren't spineless, we weren't pathetic.
Flaky, he said. Rubbish, flaky.
Rubbish. I mean, I managed a team there that we had to go to the Etihad to beat Man City in the last game of the season to get in the Champions League. They had to beat us to qualify. It was a winner-takes all situation. We went there and won 1-0. We got into the Champions League. We get drawn in a group with Inter Milan, who are the current holders of the Champions League at that time. They were also league winners. They'd done the double. They won both the cups in Italy. They also won the World Super Cup that year. We finished above them in the group. We went to Milan, in fact, and we went 4-0. We had the goalkeeper sent off after 10 minutes of the game. Gomez got sent off. We went 4-0 down in the first half. We came back out in the second half. We got 3 goals back. Gareth Bale run them ragged the second half. If the game had gone another 10 minutes, we would have won the game. That's not a team that's gutless. We came back with 10 men, 4-0 down against the European champions to have taken to the wire. We then batter them at home, beat them at White Hart Lane. We played fantastic, 3-1. Great night at White Hart Lane. You know, we then go and play AC Milan. We go to AC Milan. We win 1-0 in Milan. Then managed by Allegri, who now manages Juventus and has got, a reputation as one of the great coaches. We come back to White Hart Lane. We do a great job on the night tactically. We had everything. We drew 0-0, and so we go through. We go to Real Madrid. We have Crouchy gets sent off after 10 minutes, and we end up getting beat in Madrid. Yeah. But that wasn't... you've got players in that team. It's a disgrace to label people like Luka Modric, Gareth Bale, Ledley King, Rafa van der Vaart, William Gallas. It's a disgrace to talk about players that are saying they're spineless, gutless. I was so disappointed and so upset with his comments. I think he wants to, do his own work before he comes out with making comments like that. He was totally out of order. And if you look, we could all come back. He managed Valencia, and when he managed their team, they were the worst Valencia team probably in the last, not just in the last 30 years, in their history.
Harry, what upset him so much then? Why was he, those words, I'll say again, flaky, rubbish, soft.
I heard him have a pop before about a couple of players one day, maybe 2 years ago. A couple of players, they got rid of some bad apples or whatever. He mentioned Michael Dawson, who is one of the best pros I've ever come across in my life. When he's talking about, got rid of bad apples or people, he wants to do his homework first before he comes on and talks about people in that tone. I thought his comments were an absolute disgrace.
Harry, I've played in a lot of North London derbies, and I couldn't throw any of those accusations at any Tottenham teams then. There was just you can't do things like that.
No, David, we came out level with. We played Arsenal. We had great games. We won at the Emirates. We beat them at home. They beat us at. We had some great games. We've gone to Liverpool, got Jamie Carragher when he was at Liverpool. I think we beat them almost every time we played them over that period. We had a great run against Liverpool. I mean, to label that against top players, we played fantastic football. I'm not saying we were better than the current team. This current team's an excellent team. But, they haven't achieved any more than we achieved. Well, in the end, we didn't win nothing in the 3.5 years. We had 2 top 4 finishes and finished 5th the other year. And this team is the same. They haven't won nothing yet. eventually, hopefully, they will.
Yeah.
But I'm not concerned with this team. I love Pochettino. I've got great respect for the team and the way they play and the players. But to lay work the last 30 years, and as I say, I can only argue about my team that was 3.5 years. We weren't spineless, pathetic, flaky or soft. And I really do take exception.
Rubbish. So if Gary's listening, he might be driving, Harry. What's your message to him then?
Listen, I've got the raving hump. I've got to be honest with you. I really wouldn't, I wouldn't want to speak to him to be true. I've got the raving needle with him. I think he's totally out of order. I really do. Listen, it's all right sitting there talking about everything. My son's a pundit as well, so I know, people have got a right to opinions. I don't dispute that. But his opinion in this case is totally wrong, totally out of order. And I think it's a disgrace to talk as he has without having a look and, looking and seeing what that team did there. They may have, say, the previous 26.5 years, Alan, I can't argue about. That's up for other managers to come and put their, I'm sure there was lots of people who would have looked at that and felt very aggrieved for him to say that about their teams and the players that were there. I will only defend the players that I had. I had fantastic players. I was very lucky to manage a really outstanding Tottenham team that played great football.
Yeah.
And to talk about them in that tone, I think is an absolute disgrace.
Harry, thank you very much.
Good lads, have a good day.
Cheers, Harry.
Got off your chest, yeah. Well done, Harry. So spineless, soft, flaky, rubbish. You were surprised hearing that, David.
I was. I just couldn't believe it when I heard it. That's the first time I heard it this morning, and wow, it was almost Adrian Durham like.